I worked for MrBeast. He's a sociopath. Mr. all-around good guy. I don't know a whole lot about MrBeast, but I've seen videos where he's giving things away and making contests where everybody wins things and got bazillions of followers. And now there are accusations or rumors or whatever. But look, obviously, right? Let's spread mental health awareness to the world. Where is the mental health in MrBeast? Is any of this actually happening or going on or what? I don't even know what it is. But I think this might be a guy who worked for MrBeast and is now spilling tea. As a mental health professional, I go to work every day as a therapist to talk to people about their life, their problems, their work, their bosses, their coworkers, their spouses. This sounds perfect for our channel. What mental health can we find in this? Let's get into it. This is going to be in multiple parts because it is a long video. And let's go for part one. Without further ado. Oh my goodness, I worked for MrBeast. He's a sociopath.
I'm hungry. I'll write jokes for food. I wish a philanthropist YouTuber would just give me 10K and not film it. Hey, what the hell happened to you? MrBeast, that's what happened to me.
What we do here is go back.
Is that real?
I was gonna be somebody. I was gonna be this. Carl took my job. Carl took my job. It was worse than the dumpster diver you didn't make me do. Oh, no. I didn't.
Okay, content cop from Temu back at it again. So just before I get into my interrogation with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle, a lot has happened since my last video. After posting it, I got hundreds of messages from former MrBeast employees, and I had them all like send proof of former employment. You know, just people showing their support or telling their stories of you know, fake videos or unsafe practices, you know, toxic workplace, stuff like that.
A lot of people. I guess these are all people who have worked. Now look, you're going to do things, you're going to work places. Not everything's going to be perfect. I just don't know how much of it's like really, really serious.
I'm not really going to get into those claims because, for one, like most people want to stay anonymous, which I understand. And also, like, I think most of that stuff's just been covered with you know, the news coming out about Beast Games and everything. And also I have like more serious allegations that I want to start covering. Also, I heard from a very credible source that MrBeast has been sitting on a response to part one because he was worried if he posted it, I would instantly respond with part two. You know, like this is Kids Bop, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Also, I know MrBeast's secret CEO has been practically like harassing my people on, you know, hey, what's in part two? What does he know? So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part three, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes.
Oh, wow.
And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, I've gotten dozens of messages from former MrBeast employees of very serious allegations. So I just want to put a call to action at the start of this video that, you know, if you have a story, you can DM me. Just make sure you send proof of employment first, because I get a lot of DMs. And like, as much as I meme and joke around, like, I take anonymity very seriously. So without explicit permission, I don't go public with anything. And obviously, if it goes to court, I would hope they would censor your information from the court documents. I don't know. Oh, and former contestants too. That's another thing I heard after posting my last video is during the 100 Boys versus Girls video, I have people corroborating the same story that the camera guy who gave the girls a drone was making some girls feel uncomfortable. You trap these girls in a circle and make them sleep on rough turf and get them high on paint fumes, and then you try to f them.
Okay, that seems really dark now.
See, okay, this is the hard part. When it comes to big operations like this, you're not always in control of every single person that's coming in and out and who's on production crews. And I can imagine it's quite the operation. But not to get to this point. And I'm hoping that wasn't actually what was happening in these rooms, but this is making me nervous.
It's not dark, you're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Anyway, so that will be part three. So, you know, MrBeast, do with that information what you will. I know Chucky didn't want to respond to those allegations. So anyway, my interview with Jake Weddle, I chose to interview him because I thought he was perfect because he was both on camera and behind the scenes in 2019 and 2020. And also, what people don't know is that he came back in 2021 to be the sole contestant of a MrBeast video, which never got uploaded because it went very badly. He also knows about another portable document format who was working at MrBeast while actually on the registry. And I'll get more into that story at the end of the video. So I got his DM.
So they're using those letters, portable document file, as code word. I catch on a little bit, but man, this could get really bad really quick.
Drove straight to New York overnight, did not sleep, just drank a bunch of caffeine. And I also only had one microphone in the interview, which he's wearing. So it's mostly just him talking. Also, like, final thing, people said my last video started slow. This video also starts slow. It builds up over time, but I'll do the retention thing and say, the ending will blow your mind. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Jake Weddle, everybody.
I'm Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from MrBeast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept to the shadows a little bit. I'm an
Interesting thing for me, I don't know Jake Weddle. I don't know any of these people because I haven't really watched any MrBeast. I don't know the story behind things. I don't know all the characters at play. I know MrBeast when I see him, but this is very unbiased opinion because I don't know the stories behind all this, but apparently this guy worked on and off camera, which is great because he was actually right there with him doing a lot of this work.
on the cutting room floor a lot of the time. But I've been in some videos. I've worked on a lot of them. I was there from 2019 to 2020, 2021-ish when I came back and did some more. I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a
So he's saying it was
company.
authentic.
He's like a
in the beginning.
TV show now. It went from YouTuber guy with a camera to Amazon. The culture around there was very...
That's a really good way to put it because that's how I imagined it. A YouTuber with a camera. He was going out doing things, crazy things, giving things away, and it was great for everybody, getting all kinds of sponsors and money and giving that stuff back and doing great. That's the MrBeast I've heard about. And he said you go from that to Amazon. And when you're Amazon, you are a force to be reckoned with and taking over the world, and it just gets bigger and bigger and becomes a TV show instead of an authentic, real thing. I like how he said that.
Spoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got random bonuses and were usually moved up, had more screen time. And then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy or just you didn't like it, you were the other half. And I consistently was in the half that Jimmy doesn't like me. That's fine. I don't like him either. It's okay. That feels so good to say. I don't like Jimmy. I hate you so much. He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a...
I'm assuming Jimmy is MrBeast. This is pretty sad, right? To me, I work every day. I'm a therapist and I see clients at my office trying to help their lives, and I don't watch a whole lot of MrBeast, but I'm assuming MrBeast is Jimmy. And I like this guy's approach because it's like, look, I'm just going to put it out there. It's what it is. And he didn't want anybody to steal the limelight, which, by the way, when you get more and more attention, especially famous on YouTube, and you weren't before, all of a sudden, it's the ego gets big.
A way out necessarily.
Can't get
I'm
back.
doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively. And I could tell that the yes men were, doing well, and I was, disgruntled for quite some time. So I've talked to reporters, right, like publicly, and I've always had to choose my words very, very carefully because I don't want to say anything I don't stand behind, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I used to talk to people. I used to glaze Jimmy publicly for things I do genuinely think are true. But then it's like, well, how come you didn't talk about the working conditions? Well, I wanted a career. I didn't want to, speak ill of
Didn't say
YouTube's golden
anything.
boy and then I'm blacklisted forever. I tell people I was talking to you, they go, "Don't, what are you doing? You're going to kill your career." It's like, I have to or I'll be sad. If this is the moment, we're going to talk about it. So as far as that, that's my covering up of why we didn't talk about XYZ sooner, but now you know.
What would you say is the fakest video that you worked on while you were there?
Fakest video that I worked on while I was there. This is the extent of the fakeness that I was involved to. This is admitting to my
Fake.
complicity. I was a writer there, and we were working on a video, crushing my friend's car with a rock or meteor or something. It was a rock or a meteor in the title of it. I can't remember, but he wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, crushes their car, and they're supposed to think a rock came out of space.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
And so that was the one and only time I had to, my car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're going to call my mom next. So I had to text my mom, who had to beg to get the title very quickly. Now I'm texting my mom, I go, Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised. And then I hit send, and then they go, call your mom now. And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar. Oh my God, on the fly. She goes, what? I'm on vacation. Mom, my car has been destroyed.
Wait, what?
A meteor hit it.
Jacob, I'm on vacation. Do you understand?
But yeah, I did that video, and they're supposed to give me $10K to put a down payment on a new car, and they wanted me to get like a big flashy new car. $10K was supposed to be a down payment. And I can't afford a big flashy new car because I work at MrBeast. So yeah, I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the taxes on. I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the insurance on. So I do my part of the video, and I get a mom van that I could afford. And Jimmy was like, why didn't you get a cooler car? I was like, I can't afford that, bro. Come on.
Oh, wow. What a story. Like, if this is true, that's sad, because you got to know a lot of things are staged sometimes in life. And for them to tell him, okay, you got to act surprised like you've never seen this coming. And then he gets his mom involved in it, and they're all acting to make it seem surprised. Unless people who watch MrBeast know a lot of this stuff is fake. I just thought a lot of this stuff, or most everything, was real that happened on this show. And they were going to pull a prank on somebody that didn't know. But he's exposing it because it was actually him in the skit doing it and was told what to do to be surprised. And then the part about getting the 10K, and they wanted to buy, but he's like, I can't afford it. People got jobs, man. I got to get paid so I could just get a vehicle to get me around. And he gets the mom van. Kudos to you, Weddle.
What are you talking about? If I was working on a TV show in the 90s, on a show that was a quarter as successful, I could retire today. But now I make dog shit pay, making gajillionaires more money.
Really?
And I just walked into the writer's room. And that's one of the reasons why I left, was because I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing. And then, you know, I talked about that, and I talked about the Writers Guild and how this is what the Writers Guild industry standard is for the streaming internet content with ads. I thought that was the closest thing to YouTube. And I didn't even bring up residuals, because, oh my God, if I got residuals for every video I worked on,
views keep coming.
Boy, howdy, I could retire. But the other thing I talked about was there was another writer there, older comic, black guy. He had a kid, and I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child. We're doing the exact same job, and I'm some 20-year-old fuckhead white guy. Why am I getting paid more than him? I brought that up, and one of the things I didn't like about the way some of the V stuff shook out was I feel really guilty about the way this shook out.
It's really something to see how this seems very genuine. I know he's acted in some of these shows, but for him to really lay that out, like this guy had a family or had a child, and it's like he had this work, and everybody's pumped in the beginning because it's something new and it's something different and it's something exciting, and it became this big thing. And like he was in it just to be able to enjoy it and wanted to grow with the show and wanted to just have a piece of it that maybe he helped contribute to. It wasn't like he was just working there and didn't do anything. He was a part of that. And then he must have seen something he really didn't like, because look at how he just all of a sudden switches.
I feel really guilty about the way this shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, it's fucked up, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, because you deserve to get paid more. I don't have a kid. And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, because when you grow up with, nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did, you get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, hey man, if that's how you feel, if that's I trust you. He stood with me. He went in that meeting with me. And I said my piece, and he backed me up. And I said, I need XYZ or I'm out of here. And they said, bet. And they gave me a severance check the next day. And they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew...
That's brutal. That's brutal.
If I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it.
That's really rough.
Me, I was over the moon. I was like, you're going to give me a check and I get to leave? You know, I don't get to deal with the how many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day? You know, and I get to go home and you're going to pay me to leave. I was over the moon. And he was devastated. He did not want. I said he just wanted to be in the room, you know?
Yeah.
And I really regret that. But, you know.
And the responsibility he carries for having someone lose their job. He was just telling him, hey, just kind of, this is what I'm thinking about. Like, this is what makes sense to me. And the guy's like, that makes sense to me. And I'll back you up. I'll support you in that because that makes sense. I mean, it's not my decision, but I'll go in there with you. And then they both lose their job. I would love to hear MrBeast, his response to this, because in the end, these are people, y'all. This messes with people's lives. If this is true, if these things shake out and that's what's happened, this messes with their lives. And this is when people end up in my office and something really bad has happened in their place of employment and nobody believes them because this is a big operation and they could just squash it or push them away, severance pay, check, here you go, get out of here. Surprised they didn't have him do a non-disclosure agreement or something. Maybe they did. It's just been a certain amount of time since and he can speak. But it shouldn't happen this way. People's lives should not be messed with like this.
Me and him are really still tight. We're still good friends.
Is he doing good?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's a good guy. I love that guy. He's doing good. Yeah.
So maybe you'll feel better?
Honestly, best thing I could have done for him. Now that he's very, very far removed from all this crazy shit, I guess.
Do you think Jimmy really enjoys doing good and helping people?
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal.
I could say
and I
that.
think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. And I think it was the smartest decision for him that he calculated because he's very good with numbers.
Very smart.
If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty. If I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy? But I've always thought, if you're going to do something nice for somebody and you stick a camera in their face while you do it, you didn't do a nice thing for somebody. You gained something. There was a homeless guy on the street and you saw an opportunity for yourself and your image, and you gave one guy $10,000 who needed it to eat, and now the revenue you generated from that video is way more than what you gave. I think when he's generous...
What an interesting perspective that is. Like if you sit there and think about that.
On camera, it's the least authentic thing in the world. There's an element of, you know, oh, hey, you're crying. That's so good for camera. You know, I'm so glad if you're crying because you're so thankful that you got XYZ, and then you go, I'm so glad he needed it that bad so I could come in and, can you cry more? Oh, it's so good for the camera if you could. Oh, it made me uncomfortable that I was working there. And I didn't like it, and I vocalized it sometimes, and I think that's why I wasn't on camera as much as they said I was going to be. I was told at one point that I was going to be like fourth banana, you know, it was going to be Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, me, you know, and then that never happened. I remember talking about that, like, hey, I had my contract said XYZ, and then I got the severance checks, so, you know, whatever, all that.
That is something. So, you know, that is something that I've always wondered with MrBeast is, what is your point and what is your purpose and what is your focus? What is your mission? You know, like when I say, let's spread mental health awareness to the world, like it's to spread mental health awareness however we can through videos like this, through music, through other means or media, any story that's out there that could help people understand mental health awareness and how important it is because this messes with people's minds and their lives and their future. What has been his focus and has it changed? In other words, I want to be the best YouTuber. Is that it? I want to be the biggest Amazon, so to speak. And if that's the case, then over time, has that changed? Was it not that way in the beginning? And then all of a sudden it did? Because MrBeast seems very smart and very tactical, which is brilliant. And it's okay to create a YouTube channel and to become the biggest YouTuber. It's okay to do that. The point is, are you giving away this stuff to genuinely do it, or because it's great for the camera and that $10,000 you gave away really turned into $1 million and you get to walk away with a whole lot looking like a good guy? That is what I want to know, is what's really going on behind the scenes or not, as time has gone on with MrBeast. So that's part one. You got to stay tuned. I have got to dive into part two because this is too good. It's right. It's a build up to what is coming next. I can't wait. Leave me your comment. This is about mental health because I don't want stuff like this to happen in your job. And I don't want people to think it's okay to just boot people out because they have an opinion. It's not okay to do that. But give me your comments. Let me know what you think. Mental health matters. We'll see you on the next Reaction Therapy.